Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our services here today, we would kindly ask if everyone would please turn off or silence all electronic devices. Thank you.
On a day such as this one, we turn first and foremost to community. Thank God we are not here alone, and we do not navigate this day alone. We're surrounded by friends, by family, by loved ones, those ready to offer us guidance, support, strength, courage, help, hope, when we need it most, such as on a day as heartbreaking as this one, and we are heartbroken. We turn as well on this day to the community that's embodied by our tradition, the words of our people, the prayers and texts of our people, the words that our people have turned to for so many generations as they have experienced loss and pain. We turn to some of these same words now in hopes that they provide us with a little bit of direction, a little bit of light amid the darkness. We do remember Starr and join our hearts together to give comfort and strength to her family. Mourning is a time of emotion. We begin our service with psalms and prayers linking Starr's life with the millennial-old tradition of the people of Israel and the eternity of God. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, and life is a journey from childhood to maturity and youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing. From foolishness to discretion and perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength, strength to weakness, and often back again, from health to sickness and back we pray to health again, from offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, and grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until looking back or ahead, we see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning, death a destination, and life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage to life everlasting. Yesh kochavim she'oram magia arza rak kasher hem atzmam avdu ve'enam. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, the star that lights up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. There is a time for everything, a time for every experience under heaven. Kol zman ve'et l'chol chefetz tachat hashamayim, et la'ledet ve'et lamut, et latat ve'et lakor natua. There is a time for being born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time for tearing down and a time for building up, a time for weeping, a time for laughing, a time for wailing, a time for dancing, a time for throwing stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to discard, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time for silence and a time to speak. Adonai ro'i lo exar bino desha yarbitzeni al me minucho yinahaleni nafshi shovev. Yancheni b'maglei tzedek l'ma'an shemo. Adonai is my shepherd, I shall not want. God makes me lie down in green pastures, leads me beside still waters, and restores my soul. You lead me in right paths for the sake of your name, even when I walk in the valley of the shadow of death. I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You have set a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of God forever. We do come together now to remember a very special soul. Starr was an extraordinary person, and so widely beloved. She touched so many lives, and she will be missed. We will miss her. Her spirit, her kindness, her sense of compassion, a devoted wife to Bruce. The two of you were partners in every way. And Bruce, we are here for you, now and always. A cherished mother to Wendy, Michael, and by extension, Aaron, and Harris. Starr was always so present for you, so totally caring, so ready to love and be loved, support you, help you in every stage of life. She, of course, adored her 5 grandchildren, grandsons, all so sharp and totally perfect in her eyes. Of course. All the sleepovers, all the voicemails, all the memories. It will all live with you, Samuel, Jack, Ethan, Luke, and Jerry. Thank God you had a grandmother, a bubby, as remarkable as Starr. To her broader family, to those who have come from near and far, to her brother Dwight, and sister-in-law Debbie, really more like a sister, to Chad and Jordan, to her entire circle of friends, of which we are all a part. I pray that this day brings some comfort amid a time of such loss and such sorrow. Our tradition reminds us that today is an end, but is not the end. The stories will live. The memories will live. Those countless times she laughed with you, learned with you, was there for you, lifted you up, brought you close. It all lives. It lives in you, in your heart, in the work of your hands, in the words you'll speak, in the choices you will make going forward. In just a few days, the Jewish community will mark the springtime holiday of Purim, where our protagonist is a proud, outspoken, brave heroine named Esther, Queen Esther. She is remembered through time for what she stood for and the mark she left on those of her day. And so it is for Starr. Thank God we knew her, that our life was made better by hers. And we thank God that she is now at peace. Zichrona livracha, may her memory always be for a blessing, and may she rest now in peace. And together we can say, Amen. We'll hear now some words of remembrance and tribute from Aaron, Michael, Sam, Haley, Linda, and Dwight.
and share a short little poem. Thank you for the laughter, the good times we shared. Thanks for always listening and trying to be fair. Thank you for your comfort when things were going bad. And thank you for your shoulder to cry on when I was sad. You're more than just my mother-in-law. You're my second mom and friend too. Everyone should be so lucky and blessed to have a mother-in-law like you. I love you and will forever miss you. One thing Mom used to do when Wendy and I would be with her, and people would say, "Oh, are these your daughters?" She would say, "Yeah, they're my daughters." She'd never say, "Oh, that's my daughter-in-law, and that's my daughter." We were just her daughters. And you're lucky enough to have one mom, but I was lucky and so blessed and hit the jackpot to get two. I love her. Thank you.
So, how do I say goodbye to the woman who brought me into this world, who protected me and comforted me as a child, who guided and praised me as I grew, and who always had my back and cheered for me every day until her last? How do I honor all that she was, all that she meant to me, Aaron, my children, and all of us here today? It's an impossible task, especially when I try to sum it up in just a few words across a handful of minutes, but I have comfort because I know for my whole life that no matter what I did, how I did it, or what I accomplished, she was always so proud of me. I know that I will make her proud today because she loved me so unconditionally. That was Mom's superpower, her ability to love so unconditionally, not just me, but all of you. I always felt loved. I always felt supported. I always felt heard by Mom. And I know how much of a gift that was. And I know how proud she was of me. It gave me the confidence to live my life as I do. I look at this crowd today and I'm blown away by the numbers. I mean, I thought there would be a lot of people, but it just shows how many people she's impacted. And I really believe I was walking this morning that the rain this morning was her tears from heaven because she couldn't be with all of us, because all she would want to do is be with people. Mom was a people person first, last, and everything in between. She loved people, to be around them, to talk to them, to get together for dinner with them, to sit on the beach with them, to visit with them in their home or anywhere. Everyone was given the benefit of the doubt in her eyes, and it allowed her to befriend and love everyone. And she could talk to anyone. I remember as a child going to the store with Mom. I loved the time with her. But I also knew every time we went and we got to the checkout line, Mom would talk to the person in front of us and behind us. Not just a cordial hello. By the time we left, we knew them like a friend. Because Mom had a gift for engaging people in real personal conversations. She was an open book and would talk to anyone about anything in her life once she made that connection with them. And she had an amazing way of getting the person on the other end to open up too. I was always amazed when I could tell someone was really reserved, but she got them going in conversation. And if she discovered a South Philly connection, that was it. We were out in the parking lot for at least another 20 minutes. Now, I'm pretty introverted, and I often felt embarrassed by this because I wasn't always comfortable with Mom sharing things about my life with strangers. But Mom taught me, as I thought about it, as I learned, as I grew, that at heart, people are good, and they like to be connected with, and we shouldn't be afraid of engaging with others, even complete strangers. I think of this often when I need the courage to go into a social situation with people I don't know. It helps to calm me and think about how Mom would be. As Mom went through life collecting best friends, the way people collect stamps, coins, or baseball cards, she always searched for another unique one and never let go of those she already had. It's amazing how much Mom was loved back. Again, it's evident just looking at everybody today. I see people from all different phases of Mom's life, friends and relatives from long ago and very recent, as well as those that most would have fallen out of touch with just because time marches on and people move on. But you're all here because you love Mom, because of the impact she had on your life at some point over the last 72 years. It was never more evident how many people care for her than what I witnessed over the past week as we sat in her home tending to her in her final days. We had a non-stop flow of friends and family come to visit, as well as countless phone calls, so people could just speak with her one last time. It was truly amazing. It's so touching to see everyone say goodbye. Last Sunday at 5:11 in the afternoon, after a couple of long days of visitors, from morning to night, we were watching Mom deteriorate so quickly, and we were worried that maybe all these visitors were too much for her. So we asked her if she wanted a break from all of her guests, that we could tell people not to come, they would understand. And her response, "I never get tired of company." I never get tired of company. That's a direct quote. I wrote it down immediately. If that doesn't encapsulate Mom, I don't know what does. She never got tired of company. In fact, the hospice nurse told us that she held on for several days longer than she should have because she was fueled by all the company. She just didn't want to leave us, any of us. Growing up, she always encouraged Wendy and I to have company over. Our friends, bring them to the house. She loved having the house full of people, and she created special connections with our friends too. And I always heard my friends and Wendy's friends say such positive things about Mom. It made me really proud that she was my mom. I'm so grateful for how Mom accepted Erin into our family, not just as a daughter-in-law, but as a daughter, as she just spoke to. She loved spending time with her, especially shopping when it was Sundays at the mall or Nitwit down the shore market. They're kindred spirits in their friendliness, their love of shopping, the compassion they show to others. In many ways, I did marry my mom, and I'm very proud of that. Of course, Mom was also an incredible bubby. Of all the roles she played in her life, that may have been the one she was most prepared for, having watched how her mother did it and mastered it. Although she's gone way too soon, her 5 grandsons are so lucky to have had her love and her involvement in their lives. I think about her taking the time to run over just to see the kids in their Halloween costumes each year, or how she got up at the crack of dawn early in the morning, which Mom was not a morning person, but just to go with us to Luke's school in Princeton for a pre-Thanksgiving feast. She wouldn't miss anything. There was never a time I can recall her saying no to being with her grandkids, especially when Erin and I would call her last minute and ask if we could drop them off for the evening so we could go out. She said yes every single time because she loved being with them so much. I feel so blessed that my children had her as their bubby. As a mom, mother-in-law, and bubby, she always wanted to spend time with us. She loved to go places with us, spend every holiday together, have us come down the shore to spend weekends as often as we could, and on and on. She would have happily seen us every day if she could have, but it wasn't smothering. It was love, and the very special place we held in her heart. Erin, Sam, Jack, Luke, and I, together, had a very private moment with Mom just a couple of days before her death. She spoke to us from the heart, telling each of the 5 of us how much she loved us and how proud she was of each of us. I'll never forget, in her weakened state, how she moved around to look directly at us one by one and say something to connect to each of us individually. And then she gave us her secret to life. She said, kindness and care. We weren't sure what she said at first because it caught us off guard, so she repeated it. Kindness and care. That is all we have to do, she said. Be kind to each other and care deeply for each other and everyone we meet along the way. Kindness and care, I'm never going to forget those words because they are Mom. It's amazing how much of her was already gone at that point, and she still taught us that lesson. In the end, of course, it's all the little moments we shared together that'll be etched in my memory of you, Mom, that no one else would share. Heck, I watched Days of Our Lives with you in the 80s just to spend time with you. And I'm really sorry that she's never going to get through the hundreds of hours of episodes she still has recorded. She wasn't a great cook, but I know how much I loved her chicken parm, her steak San Marco, and her pork chops as a kid, and I'll always miss her kugel at the holidays. I remember running with her around the block one time when we were in Calvin Street from Calvin to Bonner Street, the one and only time she ever jogged. I remember the incredible hug she gave me when I told the family that Sam had been born. And the encouragement she gave me when I had to go on stage to perform Our Town a week after my bubby died. And I didn't know if I could. This list could go on forever, so I'll end with one last memory that goes all the way back to the early days of my childhood. Her favorite musical artist at the time was Barry Manilow. I know because I still have 6 of the albums in my house that she purchased in the 70s. I remember enjoying listening to these albums with her over and over again. But there was one that always made me feel a little tug on my heart, even at a young age, because Mom told me that he had written it as a tribute to his grandfather who had passed away and had been an amazing influence on his life. So Mom, this one's for you. He went, this one's for you wherever you are. Say nothing's been the same since we've been apart. This one's for all the love we once knew. Like everything else I have, this one's for you. I love you.
When I was trying to put into words what Bubby meant to me and what she was like as a Bubby, I realized that words can never describe it exactly. My Bubby was the perfect role model for kindness and what it meant to be a good person in life. She cared about all 5 of her grandsons more than she cared about herself, and she'd go to the ends of the earth to make sure she was there for us. She was our #1 fan, and it wasn't even close. She taught me what it meant to love others. She showed me the importance of family. Her love was unconditional and everlasting. I'm extremely grateful and lucky that I was able to have her with me for the last 18 years of my life, as she watched me grow up from elementary school graduation to my bar mitzvah, to all of my sporting events, to my middle school graduation, senior prom, high school graduation, and even the start of college. At the same time, it breaks my heart that my brothers and my cousins won't get that, but I know that she's still here watching over them, guiding them and cheering them on from up above. To tell you exactly what life was like as a grandson, I could go on for days telling you stories about my childhood with Bubby. But I decided that I'd just read a letter I wrote to her about all the things I'm going to miss about her. I'm going to miss walking into your house and hearing, "Is that my Sammy?" as I go up the steps. I'm going to miss playing Rummy 500 and so many other card games that you taught me. I'm going to miss the sleepovers with you and Zadie. I'm going to miss watching movies with you and Zadie at night. I'm going to miss eating chocolate chip waffles with you in the morning that you would toast to a perfect crisp. I'm going to miss joking around and laughing together at whatever silly things Zadie would be doing. I'm going to miss those days when we go look at beach houses down the shore together for the summer. Now you make that so much fun. I'm going to miss going to the beach with you and all your friends. I'm going to miss when I was little and would go to the swim club in your development with you and Zadie. I'm going to miss those random calls when you would just want to check in and see how I was doing or what I might be up to. I'm going to miss your voicemails trying to make me feel guilty for not answering my Bobby when I miss I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss calling you when I want to tell someone about something exciting that happened to me because I knew you would always match my excitement. I'm going to miss your presence at every holiday and family occasion. I'm going to miss joking with you about how you're the only person I know that's still watching Days of Our Lives. I'm going to miss then sitting with you on the couch and actually watching Days of Our Lives. As you tried to explain to me what was going on as if I was actually invested in the soap opera. I'm going to miss listening to your old records together. I'm going to miss the way you tried to convince me not to go so far away for college, even though you were the most excited to watch me go and achieve my dreams. I'm going to miss our talks about what was going on in life while we sat on the swing on your deck. I'm going to miss seeing you on the sideline, cheering me on for whatever I'm doing. I'm going to miss the way that you were always so proud of everything I did. I'm going to miss the way you'd hold me and comfort me when I was upset. I'm going to miss your hugs and kisses and the ways I could never escape seeing you without giving you a hug and a kiss. I'm going to miss that I was always your Sammy to you. I'm going to miss you so much, Bubby. I love you so much.
a picture of me and Starr together as infants. So we have been together through many phases of life. It was easy growing up with Starr. We had all the ingredients of a true, strong relationship. Love, fun, happiness, trust. We never fought. We disagreed. We annoyed each other, but we never fought. We never were mad at each other. She made friends easily, and people gravitated to her, and she was the glue that kept us together. When you were down the shore with her and you took a walk on the boards of the beach, you really didn't get very far. She stopped every block or two, talked to a ton of people, and gave each one a full interview. Finally, this week, when I sat down quietly to take everything in, there were these images flashing in my mind like a movie, of every aspect of our life. And just like in real life, when you see a movie, or real movie a second time, and you say, I never saw that before. I missed that the first time. Well, I thought about it, and if I didn't have Starr in my life from childhood as a friend, I don't know that I would have had the happy, loving childhood that I had. So thank you, Starr. And I'll end it the same way Starr ended. Every sentence, every conversation or meeting, I love you.
What a beautiful family Starr has. My heart goes out to Wendy and Michael and Aaron and all the kids. I'm Bruce's niece, lucky enough to be. He never had any children of his own. He had me. When I grew up with my uncle on Sundays, we used to go over to his house with my grandma and my father, and we would play cards and have lox and bagels and play a game called Knuckles. And I thought my uncle was almost like a prince to me. He was my hero. He was such an amazing guy, and I'm this little girl looking up to him, always have. And I thought, wow, I hope one day someone comes into his life and is as wonderful as he is. He sure found that. And it took him a long time. I was about 21 in Florida, and I was talking to him on the phone, and he said, I met someone. I said, really? Who is she? And he explained their love story about how they actually knew each other many moons prior, and they got reconnected. And from that point, they were inseparable. I lived far away for a long time, so I didn't have the fortunate experience that everybody has of really spending years with them and time with them, as I would have hoped. But whenever I was in Starr's presence, she was loving and wonderful and kind and sweet and funny and accepting. She remembered every single person in my family and asked me how they were, even on days when she was sick herself. I want to thank Starr because she gave my uncle the most beautiful life that I could have ever hoped for as a niece who adores him. She gave him a wonderful family with children, beautiful grandchildren that adore him. I couldn't ask for anything better. When I spoke to him over the last week, he said that Starr was magnificent. What words could you ask for a love? She was magnificent. She was one of a kind. She was my love. She gave me life. And there's no one ever going to be like her. So for me, I want to thank Starr for making my uncle so happy. And after speaking to her many times, she was equally as happy with him. She adored him. She adored her family. She adored her grandkids. She adored all her friends and the life that she had. I'm really going to miss her. And I know that she's going to be watching over all of you, and especially my uncle, and making sure that he represents life as he did before. And I know he will honor the love that they have always. Love you.
Thank you for all coming, first of all. This is tough. I'm not as bright as these other people. I need a piece of paper. Starry, starry, starry. Hopefully this will give you a little glimpse into the Starr we all knew, and who I knew. She called me Big Brother. I called her Little Sister. That's how she set it up. I had no choice. And I accepted that duty. She placed me on a pedestal I did not deserve. But when it came to protecting her, it came naturally. Fighting her fights if I had to, and then when no one was watching, I'd fight her. She had incredible qualities. I'm sure you've heard most of them by now, but I'll remind you again. She would give you the shirt off her back, and kind as kind can be, but still stuck to what she believed. She would start off the sentence with, "I'm sorry, but," or, "Are you kidding?" She would want to know more about you than about herself. When she was down the shore, she was in her glory, and would always ask us to join her and Bruce. And Bruce was most accommodating always. Speaking of Bruce, I can't tell you how incredible he has been through years, and especially the last 2 years, and to the very end. He has proved to be a real brother, not just a brother-in-law that I never had. In childhood, many memories come to mind, but this one sticks out that I rarely shared. Growing up in South Philly, every New Year's Day, early in the morning, I would go into her bedroom, which was facing Moy-Mensing Avenue, and join her. We would open the shades, or I should say, Venetian blinds. And watch the mummers and string bands drunkenly walk up Warmensing Avenue on their way to Broad Street. I'm glad this is here. That excitement never left us. A ringside seat of the Mummers Parade. Friends, oh my God, she had friends from everywhere. She loved friends. From the very first friendships as a small child, and many are here today, all the way up to adulthood. From 13 to 17 years old, our house was the hangout. For dance parties in our parlor. It was amazing that our parents left us and went to a party of their own. Family. When it came to family, it was amazing that her interest level was so high. She would remember all our cousins, all our second cousins, their kids, in alphabetical order. Actually, she was able to do this even in the last week of her life. I would show her an old photo album. Yes, family and friends came first. And she would pick out everyone in that book she knew by name. It was amazing. Traits. Most of all, she was kind, considerate, and loving. She did not flaunt. She did not disguise or brag. She was real and honest. When she was born, a real star appeared and made her entrance in a blanket held by my mother. And unlike a shooting star that streaks across the galaxy, that glows so strong, then fizzles out, her star resides in the heavens for all to see. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for those extraordinary tributes. A reminder that Shiva will be observed tonight, tomorrow, and Tuesday from 5 to 10 at 2001 Morris Drive in Cherry Hill, with a minion each night at 7 o'clock. Esayonai ela harimein yavo ezri meim Adonai oseh shamayim va'aretz. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let our foot give way. Our guardian does not slumber. The guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. Adonai is our guardian, so the sun will not strike us by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard us, guarding our lives in going out and in coming in, now and forever. I'll ask everyone to please rise for our benediction, El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim Shochen Bamromim Hamsei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashchina. In Kedoshim Torim Kizar Rakia Masirim Et Nishmat Tzora Rivka Shalchal Olama Bala Rachamim Yastireh B'Seiter Knafav Lolamim B'Tzur B'Tzur HaChaim Et Nishmata Adonai Hu Nachalata V'Tanuach B'Shalom Al Mishkava V'Nomar Amen. Fully compassionate God on high, to our loved one who has entered eternity, grant her clear and certain rest with you in the lofty heights of the sacred and pure, whose brightness shines like the glow of heaven. Source of mercy, forever enfold her in the embrace of your wings. Secure her soul in eternity. Adonai, she is yours. May she rest now in peace, And together we can all say, you may be seated.
May we have the pallbearers, please? And we would ask if you would all rise once more. Folks, and I'll ask if you could all please take seats for just a moment, please.